could probably hit that a little faster.
All right.
No, not that fast.
Oh!
Those of us most inspired by our four-wheeled sports cars of the affordable variety may have noticed that in recent years, this category is rapidly disappearing. That's right, while there are more choices than ever for a $200,000 super sports car or for a $100,000 sport utility vehicle with the engine of a sports car, the availability of affordable sporting cars has dwindled. The thing is, for a lot of people, that niche has been replaced by these. The UTV, or Utility Terrain Vehicle, more commonly known as the side-by-side. These high-performance off-road toys are one of the fastest-growing segments on four wheels, if not the fastest-growing segment outright. The low cost of entry, high performance, ease of use compared to motorcycles and ATVs, and enormous aftermarket have made them ubiquitous on ranches, in the desert, and on the trails. And today, Polaris has invited us to Windrock Park, an off-road area outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, to see what all the fuss is about. Is a fast side-by-side the best value in sporty driving? Why are these things so popular, and why did they invite us? Guys, I don't know if you know this about me, but my schedule is slammed. I literally have 4 jobs right now, and the one thing I forget to do is eat. I don't build the time into my day to stop and eat. I sometimes don't even build the time into my day to stop and order the food I should be eating. And I know ordering in is not good for me, but it's just something I have to do sometimes because I don't have the time to go to the grocery store and make food for myself for lunch when I'm at the studio. I'm trying to be healthy. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to improve my situation in life. You know who's here for me? Factor. Their food is fresh, never frozen, heats up in the microwave in just 2 minutes, and there are so many delicious options from the chef specials to the Calorie Smart, which I'm kind of leaning in. I got this beef poblano chili working for me today. It is delicious. When I finish my work, go home, I'm going to hit the gym. I want a quick burst of energy, so I grab one of those Factor smoothies. I like the strawberry banana. I like the mango. It's got protein. It's got fiber. It's got carbs. Everything I need for a quick hit of energy right before a workout. And Factor's flexible. When I travel for work, when I travel for vacation, I can pause or reschedule my meal deliveries for when I get back. It works with my schedule. They've got tons of options to choose from. You'll never run out of things to eat. Always something new every day. And I can keep my nutrition goals in mind and not get to that point where I'm super hungry and eating something that's really unhealthy, going to mess up my diet, right? It's great for lunch, great for dinner, great for a snack in between. Head over to factor75.com or click the link in the video description. Use code TST40 to get 40% off your first Factor box. And thank you to Factor for sponsoring today's video. It's like a chili. I should have put it in a bowl. But if I put it in a bowl, you can't see it. That's the problem. But pretty good. Beef chili with poblano? Yes, please. Now, we've been all over the world to press launches for cars, and I've even done a few for motorcycles, such as the Moto Guzzi V7 Classic. But today, we're going to experience a new kind of press launch, one without pavement at all. Watch as we pretend to know exactly what we're talking about when it comes to the UTV.
This is the all-new Polaris RZR XP, and it looks absolutely sick. And apparently there have been a lot of changes since the last one.
Why don't you tell them what they are, Zach?
Happily.
There's an all-new 2-cylinder engine with dual overhead cams and electronic fuel injection, now making 114 horsepower. The power gets to the ground through a new CVT transmission that has a transfer case letting you select rear or all-wheel drive. The driveline has been re-geared and now has better low-end response. The all-new chassis is 25% more rigid than the last one. They redesigned the doors, the windshield, and the interior is more, luxurious. The 16-way adjustable shocks offer over 20 inches of travel. You can order LED light bars or a weatherproof Rockford Fosgate stereo that has a 400-watt subwoofer. Plus, there's enough electronic output for a winch and nearly any other accessory you can imagine.
Unlike a street-based car, this thing is designed from the ground up for the trails, usability and serviceability. You don't want to be the guy holding your group back. So everything is made very easy, from the easily accessible tie downs, and this one doesn't have it, but there could be an optional winch that goes here. The bodywork pops off super easily. The doors come off super easily. If you have to change a tire on the trail, that grab handle that's adjustable is actually also a tire iron. These seats come out super fast to service the air filter side of the engine, and this tonneau box comes out with just 4 bolts to service everything else. It's all very straightforward and simple and designed to be fixed quickly and affordably to get you back on the trail. And all that sounds great, but we never actually drove the old one from last year. So we'll just have to take their word for it that this new one is better. Now, how do you drive it?
Because I have experience in these, I flipped a RZR. I would go first to provide some practical instruction.
You start it very easily. Turn the key. And then all you do, put it in high, 2, and you drive like you don't care. Throw away all mechanical sympathy. That's how you drive it. These things can take such a beating and keep going. And they move so much. When you brake, the nose dives a lot. When you hit the gas, it sits back like a wave runner. Teaches you a lot about weight control and body control. And yet, it also can rock crawl. You can put it in 4 low and go up nearly anything. Something that would be difficult hiking is easy in this. These rocks are Algebra 2, and I am Stephen Hawking. We are going over this no problem. The maneuverability is amazing. This has a 90-inch wheelbase, the same as an NA Miata, but it's about 3 feet shorter overall. The approach angles are better than any off-roader you could buy in any dealership today or any time previously. And then it soaks up a bump like that, like Rick James.
After that terrifying demonstration, it was my turn.
There's so much to like about one of these, starting with where you use it. We're not on a road. I'm not even sure you need a license. When you're on the trails or when you're in the desert, the speed limit is set by nature, not by the law. Plus, this thing is small and it's light, way smaller and lighter than any SUV-based vehicle. And that means you can go where other vehicles can't go. You can do a Jeep course where a Jeep could go 5 miles an hour at 25 or 30 miles an hour. It's amazing. Plus, the price. These things start at $21,000, and this one fully loaded is just under $25,000. That won't even get you into any kind of decent Wrangler.
Pausing for the trail to clear allowed us to focus on the RZR's luxuries.
These things always start out very, very basic. You know, a shell, a cage, and an engine. But over time, they get more and more amenities and accessories. And now we've got navigation with the trail. We've got a USB port. You can get a heater in these. It has a stereo. All kinds of features. You can add even more switches and auxiliary stuff and accessories if you want to. This thing has stuff you wouldn't find in an 80s Jeep. It's almost like an unregulated car in that way. You get more stuff, but they don't actually add airbags or even size. 16-way adjustable shocks. They strengthen the chassis 25% for stuff just like this. Because just like a race car, the stiffer the chassis, the more work you pass off to the suspension, the more responsive it is. And it is responsive. Wagging the tail. And keep in mind, Matt and I both have back issues. We're not really the dirt bike crowd anymore, but we've been in this thing for hours, no problems whatsoever. The new seats are legitimately comfortable. It has more lumbar than a Civic Type R.
It's not without its challenges, though.
In most places, a UTV is not street legal. So you need a truck, you need a trailer, you need to do another bit of logistics to get this thing out on the trail, unlike a Jeep where you could just pull out of your driveway and go. Plus, in case you haven't noticed, they're not fully enclosed. And that means you can get hot, you can get cold, you can get dirty, and you can get wet in here. And so far today, I've experienced every one of those. You could probably hit that a little faster.
All right.
No, not that fast.
Ow!
Zach got us dirty.
You said I could go quicker. You wearing chaps? You got mud chaps on?
Dude, it was like Moses had summoned the wave of mud. Yeah. It was over the roof.
Yeah. You can see it.
I was not the only one who overcooked a puddle.
It may be safer than a motorcycle, but only just. This is still quite a dangerous activity, and I know a couple of people that have either gotten very hurt or very close to being hurt driving UTVs. It may look like a car and drive like a car, but you have to prepare like a motorcycle and gear up because you never know. The way you know it's closer to a bike than a car is that even the professionals refer to this as riding. They're talking about gearing up to ride. It's got a wheel and pedals, but you're not driving, you're riding. That's the mindset you got to get into. Oh, yes.
Pants wetting and danger aside, it seemed like we could do anything. It climbed muddy trails that would challenge Alex Honnold's goat. It floated across rocks like water, and it flew across the gravel. It was unstoppable. We didn't want the day to end.
Zach, this is going to be an expensive trip. I do not want to go home. I just can't imagine spending a day in something like this and wanting to go back to a full SUV. I just can't.
Finally, we slowed down enough to hear each other and discuss what exactly the XP is.
I have trouble describing the experience of driving this. Like, is it a Jeep? Is it a truck? Is it a rally car? Like, what's the closest comparison?
Honestly, it's a truckin'. It's like it has the maneuverability of a Jeep, but it has the resiliency and speed of a rally car and the travel of a trophy truck.
I think it's like 50% scale trophy truck.
Yeah.
But with sports car steering.
Yeah.
You know, it's got that floatiness, that body movement of a trophy truck, but a really little footprint, really lightweight, and then super sharp steering and really good brakes.
Yeah, but a trophy truck wouldn't fit on this trail because it would be too wide.
Right.
And a rally car would probably be too low and get stuck.
Right.
And this just does all of it.
There is a ton of impressive engineering that goes into these vehicles. From the shocks in the driveline to where the switches are placed, to how electronics and controls can withstand the elements. It even has a clever electronic steering system that prevents the wheel from kicking back and twisting your arm off.
Yeah, I mean, it's got electric power steering. Even a lot of your project car base off-roaders won't have E-Pass.
Yeah. And if you had a classic Land Cruiser Jeep, it's going to have ball steering, right?
Yeah.
And it'll be 4 turns lock to lock. I think the throttle mapping's also really good. You can hit bumps and your foot doesn't bounce around and make you do wheelies.
Yeah.
This is truly one of the best vehicles I've ever been in.
It is exactly the perfect thing for this task. Like, I wouldn't have more fun on this trail in any other type of vehicle.
Absolutely.
2 or 4 wheels. I don't think you could actually get a car to do this no matter what you did. Like, I wrote in the script, could you get a car to this point? And I think it would be very, very hard. I don't think you could do it.
And the suspension control arms here mount in the middle.
Yeah,
You know?
I just don't think the geometries are possible in a car. I don't think you could get a car this light. Even if you could, I don't think a car would survive these speeds on this kind of terrain.
I totally agree.
Even a rally car, the toughest car that there is, they grade those roads.
Now, as you said, you know, you are exposed to the elements in these, especially if you don't get the windshield. But I feel like the attitude of this is like that guy that shot his gun at the hurricane. You're just kind of shirtless and you don't care.
The only problem with these is you have to start listening to early 2000s metal again. You gotta pull out your Creed. You gotta pull out your Shinedown.
No. I'll
Limp
go
Bizkit?
Limp
Hell
Bizkit.
yeah.
I'll go Limp Bizkit.
After our day in the dirt, it is not hard at all to figure out why so many people want these things. They're cheap, they're easy to fix, they're flexible, they're versatile, they have a very low learning curve, and they are ridiculous amounts of fun. And remember, always fight your tickets. Use code TST10 on the Off the Record app available in the Android and iOS store, or go to offtherecord.com/TST.